Indie Zombie Games.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Indie Zombie Let's Play. I'm Jordan. This is more of Zombie Adventure Part 4. In fact, I gotta remark that on my recorder. Gotta keep track of this shit. It's only the professional thing to do, if I do say so myself. Alright, when we last left off, we made it to this apartment complex, and we're trying to figure out what to do next. I'm gonna check out my inventory. You'd think, since this is, meant to be an RPG, survival horror, text adventure, that, because I haven't found any other way in which to replenish my gun ammo, or even find any med kits or rations or anything like that. Alright, let's see. Let's decide what to do. Let's find a trader. A middle-aged man beckons you to his booth, which is really nothing more than a cardboard box flipped over. Batteries of all sizes fill cereal boxes on top of the boxes. Obviously his business isn't doing too well, or else he'd have bodyguards on either side of his booth. Hello there. Always nice to see someone new in Lancaster Market, the man says as you begin looking at the boxes of batteries. He continues, Do you have flashlights? How about CD players? If you don't have them now, you're sure to find them later. Give me enough food or water for one day, and I'll let you take 2 handfuls of batteries. Only so many left out there, and I kill dozens of zombies to get these. Beg. No food, no water. Decline. Sorry you say, but I have to decline. Don't believe I'll be needing any batteries. The man only responds by changing from elated expression to one of great disappointment. Alright, what do I do next? Let's explore the first floor hallway. You're in the first floor hallway of the apartment building. There are numerous rooms with signs hanging below them as an exit to the main courtyard of the complex. Enter the dead bar, enter the radio lounge, exit to the courtyard. Let's go to the courtyard. You're standing in the apartment complex courtyard. Makeshift cages filled with slaves are scattered around the muddy grounds. A man is auctioning off the slaves before a crowd of a dozen well-dressed bidders and their bodyguards. In the center of the grounds is a crate where water is still trickling from the previous rainstorm. Inspect the slaves, leave the courtyard. Let's check out the crate. Hello up there, calls a little girl no older than 11, crouched underneath the grating. You aren't my normal trader, but I'm desperate. Do you have any batteries? I need them for my flashlight, or else it's too dangerous to look for treasure down here. I'll trade you big weapons for batteries. Also, if you see my dog, I'll give you a gun for him. He's brown with a white spot and super cute. Inquire about her parents. The girl looks at you impatiently as you ask where her parents are. Spitting and crossing her arms, the child responds, You're boring me. Come back when you have something to trade. You back away from the grate in awe of how a person that young lost their innocence in the apocalypse. You're standing around. Let's leave the courtyard because I don't have anything. So, let's check out the dead bar. This cramped little room had its beds replaced by a small bar and 8 chairs surrounding a single table. Every seat is occupied by incredibly seedy and intoxicated men that naturally ignore your presence. The bartender looks at you cautiously with one hand on the table and the other hidden behind the bar. Most likely, that obscured arm is holding a shotgun or worse. Let's talk to the bartender. The bartender addresses you almost immediately after you start to walk towards him. Sorry, but we're out of booze until our next shipment arrives. You open your mouth to ask him something, but his looks conveys that you need to back away immediately. Cramped little room, blah blah blah. Let's try to talk to the patrons. You're shocked to find the man who drove the bus in your dreams sitting amongst the drunks. He is plastered out of his mind, but still seems to recognize you. Hey, he bellows through numerous hiccups. What use... How you are here? Be honest. Are yous real? I drank too much. Since the man is heavily intoxicated, you figure that you can ask him anything you want. Ask him about the bus, ask his name, ask why you were traveling. Ask him about the bus. You ask him about the bus, and after staring at his glass for a while, the man replies, "Terrible mess that was. Yous were dead, so I left yous. We packed the slaves in the other's car and left. I told Cortez you were dead." Ah, so we were traveling with Cortez. Okay, well now this gets a little bit more interesting. Why we were traveling. He raises his head a few inches to look you in the eyes and says, "Transporting slaves. Like we's always do. Lancaster is the best place of all the places for slaves trading." With that, his head goes back to staring at his glass. Ask him his name. He doesn't respond to your question, but instead talks to his glass. "Hi there, little empty fellow. What you thinking about right now? Are yous dead too?" Let's leave him be. Alright, let's exit the bar. Oh yeah, let's go to the radio room, because we know that Cortez, I guess, is here. A chalkboard is against the far wall with no couches. It displays the numbers 900, 1350, and 1520, with the word AM next to each. Let's call those soldiers. You tune the dial to 1350 AM station. A man is speaking into it calmly, but with a serious tone. "Once again, we are looking for any information about Cortez and his slave caravan. He is wanted by the settlers of New Haven for murder and kidnapping. Over." Say, "Cortez is here." Picking up the receiver, you respond to the man on the radio. "Yes, Cortez is here at the Lancaster Market. Over." The cocking of a gun behind you makes you freeze. One of the drunks is leveling his revolver at your head. You need to leave. Sorry, this is a little hard to read. The cocking of a gun behind you makes you freeze. One of the drunks is leveling his revolver at your head. "You need to leave," says the drunk with half-closed eyes. I want the other station on." The drunk continues to point the gun at your head behind you. The radio is alive with the chatter of several voices, but you're too focused on the danger aimed at you to hear them. Sorry. His fingers move to the trigger, and you rush out of the room. He follows to shut and lock the door. Okay, now what? Let's go to the main lobby. You're in the main lobby. Okay, let's see if I can find a trader. Middle-aged man. Let's beg for food. Begging is not really your strong suit, and it definitely doesn't win over the battery peddler. He folds his arms in disgust and looks away as you leave the trading area. Let's try begging for water. Okay, so that really doesn't work. Well, okay, what exactly do I do now? Because I don't have a whole lot of options. Go to the front desk. Let's ask about the bus driver. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We tried this once before, but the guy doesn't care. Ask what this place is. So what is this place? You ask the manager. He turns a page in his magazine and scoffs and answers, "We are the pride and joy of this area. Only the best in lodging, women and merchandise. New slave shipment just arrived too. But judging by your clothes, you are not one of our merchants." He scoffs again. Try not to linger here too long. We prefer paying customers. Well, I can't leave, so at least I can't seem to have an option to leave. Yeah, so the same thing happens. Only difference is that I will regain health. Uh, Go to the front desk. Return to the lobby. Okay, so what the hell do I do now? Well, let's I guess just explore around a little bit more. Try to go back to the radio lounge. The door is locked. You can't enter. Let's go to the dead bar. Talk to patrons. You're shocked to find since he's heavily intoxicated. Okay, so he's still here, but we already talked to him. Let's exit the bar. Yeah, this game kind of came to a screeching halt at this point. Let's go to the courtyard. There's probably more to do with the slavers. Inspect the slaves. You walk up to the slave cages to inspect them. The poor souls are terrified, and many seem to recognize you. None speak as they probably were instructed not to, but you can tell that many are shocked to see you alive. You are grateful to not be sharing a cage with them. I imagine what was going on was that I was probably a slave, but they thought I was dead, and so I was pretty much useless. So they left me there, is what I imagine what happened. Okay. Listen to the auctioneer. The auctioneer's voice is full of confidence and maintains the smooth tone of a salesman who knows what you want to buy. His product. Who knows when you want to buy his product. When he says the phrase, you won't be disappointed, you nearly fall as you're overwhelmed by a memory flooding into your consciousness. You heard that phrase hundreds of times before. You're sure of it. Soon you realize that this is the same man who said it all those times too. One particular memory is of this auctioneer pushing a slave into the bus that you later woke up in. He was telling the slave that if she kept crying, he would think of something horrible to do to her and that she wouldn't be disappointed. Cortez, you whisper under your breath. He was the one running the slave convoy that abandoned you in that bus. You ball your fists and back away from the auctioneer. Alright, well, we already used the radio. I guess the only other option is to confront Cortez. With anger seething in your veins, you lower your head and push through the crowd, attempting to bid on Cortez's slaves. He notices you shoving towards the front and stops calling out bids. The whole crowd follows his eyes until everyone is staring at you. Standing before Cortez, you can see a bead of sweat makes its way from his temple to his neck. The crowd and you wait for Cortez to say something. Within moments, his shocked expression changes back to normal and he speaks. "It is so good to see you alive. I should have that driver put down for leaving you to die on that bus." He pauses to view your reaction that continues. "I'm sure I can offer you payment for your suffering." You consider his words, but don't back down. "You're going to pay, Cortez," you say, just loud enough for him to hear, but not the crowd. He steps backwards as you step towards him, and suddenly one of the bodyguards in the crowd moves between you both. Then These these people like me and... What? These people like me... These people like me and won't let you hurt me, says Cortez as the guard aims his assault rifle at you. Yeah, see, like, there are times where there are words missing and the grammar is just kind of bad. So, geez. Alright, let's equip my gun. Yeah, he hit me for 10. I missed. Alright, well, I am all out. So, let's go with the crowbar. I will probably die. Nope. Alright, let's see how we do. I hit him. He missed. Hit him. He missed. Hit him. He missed. Hit him. He missed. Hit him again. He hit me. Hit him again. He missed. Hit him again. He missed. Hit him again. He hit me. He's almost dead. He's dead. The crowd and Cortez flee while you finish killing the guard. You hear men inside the apartment complex being called to mobilize and realize that you don't have much time to escape. Gunfire from the second story forces you to hide behind the caged slaves. Apparently the shooters are too afraid to kill Cortez's slaves to fire at you. This buys you a little time, but not much. Right when you figure this is your fate, a child's voice calls you from beneath the grate in the Senate courtyard. The little girl beneath the grates hoists it up completely and yells, "This way, down here!" You figure what the hell and dive into it. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I can't save right now. Okay, and all I can do is continue. The little girl slams the grate down and wedges a piece of metal pipe between the grate's rusty latch. That will keep them out, she says proudly. You are barely able to crouch in this space, but the little girl tells you to stay close and follow her, so you try your best to keep up with the spry thing. She's very quick, and soon you're panting from the exertion of moving at her pace. Come on, she says to encourage you. Just a little further, and we will be able to stand. Sure enough, eventually the crawl space opens up to a much larger passage. Your only light source is the girl's flashlight, but as your eyes adjust to the darkness, you realize that this enclosure is the child's home. You scan the room, spotting a pile of toys, the remains of a mattress, and a huge pile of weapons. Alright, let's go ahead and save. It's about 18 minutes. We will continue here. You can go that way to the outside, she says, pointing the flashlight at a narrow passage opposite of the way you entered the den. It's then that you notice that the large rifle in her hands, comically large for a person of her size, but intimidating nonetheless. Despite the rifle aimed at your chest, you thank the little girl and move into the tiny passage. Okay, so she's not going to give us any weapons. I wonder if we had given her... If we had been able to get batteries, but there was no point in the game that I ever came across, like, a stash of, like, batteries or weapons or really anything, which is kind of shitty. As you move sideways in the narrow corridor and further into the darkness, your mind races through the information you've learned thus far. You were on the slave bus when it crashed and left for dead by Cortez and his men. But why was Cortez so afraid of you? A previous slave? Something just wasn't adding up. A dull light penetrates the darkness far ahead of you, and your pace quickens. You do anything to get out of this sewer faster. You reach the end of the tunnel only to see that the sewer's entrance is blocked by debris. Light penetrates holes in the pile of furniture standing between you and freedom. You push and pull individual pieces until there's enough space to walk out. To your horror, a zombie bloated from water rock climbs into the gap from its side of the furniture wall. And it's a strong zombie, too. Miss, and he hit me. Hit. He missed me. Hit. He hit me. I'll probably die. Hit him. He hit me. I'm almost dead. Let's try and run. You ran away. Alright. I mean, you don't even get anything from combat. So, You sidestep the zombie and run into the blinding sunlight. On the way out, you tip a broken sofa over and run into the gap of a wall of furniture. Hopefully, that will keep the zombie occupied while you escape. It takes your eyes a minute to adjust to the sun's rays. Your heart sinks when you can finally make out the figures surrounding you. A group of armed men are pointing their guns at you. Even if you made a break for the sewer, you doubt that you'd be able to avoid so many itchy trigger fingers. Cortez's voice adds to the tension. That was a neat trick, using the sewer girl to get away. I'll have to make sure she gets a stern talking to for helping you. You want to yell at Cortez, but you're terrified of giving his men an excuse to zombify you. Realizing you have no response, Cortez continues. I just don't understand why you tracked me down. You know I'm a dangerous man, so why the theatrics? Perhaps you will be willing to discuss the matter with me in private. Cortez turns around just as the men you didn't notice sneaking behind you throws a bag over your head and knocks you to the ground with his rifle butt. You awaken with your hands zip-tied behind your back, sitting on a three-legged stool. Your backpack has been removed, and Cortez is sitting in a leather recliner opposite you with his feet up. This place is lit only by candles, creating an ominous atmosphere, and the windows are covered with black trash bags. You're finally awake, shouts Cortez as he exhales smoke from his large cigar. Maybe now we can figure out what the hell has gotten into you. I'm guessing I'm related to Cortez in some way, or I guess we can save. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take another break. I'm going to see about trying to wrap this up. I'll probably die, though, because my health is so low. So everybody, this has been Indie Zombie Let's Play Zombie Adventure Part 4. Hope that you guys have been enjoying this so far. We're just about finished. Please let me know what you think in the comments section. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate it. Check me out on Twitter at jmrt709. I'll see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves.